program where when Coach Drink came in, we weren't beating our money games. You know, the teams the teams you give a check to on the way in. Now we're beating those teams. We came into this game undefeated, and we left undefeated as well. As K-State, the Wildcats come into town, and just as Rick said, it wasn't going to go 62 yards, but it only had to go 61. And then the crowd rushed the field for the victory. An expensive game for the Tigers as they received a $100,000 fine from the SEC.
Well, Coach Drink has got to be happy about that because with the SEC and Mizzou being now in that big conference, that's giving some visibility to this team, Rick. And that is exactly what the people here in Missouri like to see, because they want that visibility, because they believe in this team. A lot of people go to Columbia to watch the team. They root for it on the weekends, and this has got to be fantastic for the players.
Well, it is. I mean, the fans that come to see Mizzou play, many of them are very heavy sponsors, all right? And they've got a beautiful stadium. When you start looking at the amount of people, it was over 62,000 people that viewed this game. So when you start thinking about that, that is tremendous support. Well, now all of a sudden they got paid back, all right, last weekend.
Let's talk about the other big game that occurred last weekend, Tony, and we're talking Coach Prime, as he's now known, in Colorado. What is starting to happen, and people are starting to take notice, is that he's coaching old school. He's teaching faith. He's teaching values. He's teaching hard work, and it is paying off at Colorado.
Well, I think you're exactly right. You know, the question that was had when he went to Jackson State is, can he do more than the hype? And he certainly did at Jackson State. Now at the University of Colorado, a program that struggled, won one game last season, and now they are 3-0, and he's getting it done. Don't let the glasses and the jewelry fool you. He can coach.
You know what is also nice, too, is that, okay, he might be getting all the attention and the Hollywood type of thing with Coach Prime, but he's taking the pressure off of the athletes. So they're not going to be getting all the pressure from the media. He's taking that so the kids can play loose. What do you think about that, Rick?
Well, you know, when you have your son as a quarterback, it kind of puts an awful lot of pressure, not only on prime time, but it puts a lot of pressure on the young man. And, you know, he's playing for his dad, and you want to make sure that you're doing well for it. But he's been able to deal with all the pressures and stuff like that. I mean, prime time, if you can play in baseball and football and do everything that he has done in his lifetime, all right, and find out that he can actually coach it, that's a rare occasion.
Tony?
I think he brings in the attitude. I think that's the number one thing he brings to your program. As he comes in, you look like a champion, you act like a champion, you expect to be a champion, and I think that gets those kids up to the next level. We saw it at his previous school, Jackson State. We're now seeing that at Colorado, and I think he brings that. We expect to win, and I think it's contagious.
You know, you segued perfectly because play like a champion. Who's famous for that? Notre Dame. Play like a champion. And they're on Big Ten Saturday night against Ohio State. You talk about a big one, and it's in Notre Dame. So here's Ohio State actually leaving the shoe for this kind of a game. And, Rick, that's got to be somewhat special for both clubs.
Well, it is. I mean, it's tradition that they have held at Notre Dame for years. Well, Ohio State's got its own tradition. They're used to winning. All right. Well, Notre Dame the last couple of years have had very competitive teams. All right. Brought some great athletes out that now are in the NFL. But also it's something to where this is one of the rankings that you got 5, all right, going against 8. And it's something that I think, consequently, nobody has to worry about any kind of questions of whether or not that they're dodging. Ohio State won last week 63-10, all right, against Western Kentucky. And, you know, Notre Dame beat Central Michigan 41-17. Both of those are representative. All right, so now all of a sudden you're going to see, all right, the big boys are going to put on their hips, all right, and they're going to go out and play.
All right, Tony.
You know, I think Rick's exactly right. You see Ohio State last week put up 63 points, a lot of points no matter who you're playing, but no one's talking about this defense. That's very stingy this year. They are not giving up any points going into the Dome. Look for a great contest.
All right. What's on your radar for college this week, Rick?
Well, again, there's several games that are going to be on this week that ranked teams are playing ranked teams. All right. Miami is starting to get back into everybody's conversation. All right. You've got Texas that's playing, they're playing well. You know, they didn't start off real well last week, but they came back. But when you start looking at the teams that are preparing for this weekend, all right, there's a real good schedule that's coming out. So I think that the teams that have doubled up and have played against now ranked teams, practice is over.
Yep. Yeah, practice is over. Okay, Tony, what's on your radar for this weekend
Well,
for college?
I think the games that you want to watch right now are the programs. Right now, we've got a lot of questions. We've got a lot of questions in a program that's been very stable the last several years, and that's Alabama, as they are struggling even in wins right now. And then the emergence of Texas that put a loss on Alabama this season already, and look for them to continue to get better. Two programs, you're going to want to watch those games just because of the outcomes.
Tony, is it my understanding that Alabama's out of the top 10?
They are what? They are number 10, I believe.
Oh, so they're right there at the
10.
edge.
Last time they've been in double digits in quite a while.
Yeah. Well, this is fascinating, and you got to join us Friday mornings on the Ozarks this morning, because that's when we get into the NFL, right, Tony?
Well, sometimes we pick them right, sometimes we pick them wrong.
Yeah. So what are you doing there, Rick?
Well, I think I did all right last week.
Yeah.
Like that, the week before that, we won't even have to talk about it.
No, we won't. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back. We're here with Coach Austin. We're here at the Camdenton High School. How you doing today, Coach?
Good, how are you?
All right. Since we last talked about a week ago, what has happened and how many wins and losses?
We got 2 wins last week. We beat Rolla, beat Parkview at home. And then on Saturday, we had a tournament, and we played a very good Staley team. It was a great match for us. Played really good. Came out on the losing end, but saw a lot of good things. Then got beat by Rogersville in a game that we probably, could have competed better in. And then beat Battle in a close game at the end. Monday, we went to Southern Boone and dropped a heartbreaking 5-set match where we were up 2-0 and got reverse swept. And then Tuesday night, we had to turn around, regroup, travel to West Plains, and we lost in 4 close sets there. So we're just in that funk right now. But kind of working out of it from here.
This is the point of the season where the wins are getting harder to come by because everybody's got film on you and you can see the other people, and the players are getting a little bit tired, and you have to keep them up.
Yeah, we're kind of working through taking some kind of lighter practices, but getting a lot of quality touches in when we're in there. And we have 2 3-set weeks here. With tournament kind of in between. So, we are kind of in the thick of it. Good news is we're halfway. And like we talked about yesterday, what really matters is at the end of the season, everybody's 0-0 going into the postseason. So kind of replaying our best volleyball, starting here, kind of pushing through.
And I'm sure you're taking notes of this is what we need to do. Yeah. This is where we need to tweak, and we're going to move this person over here.
Yeah, we're kind of plugging our pieces, and we've kind of had a consistent lineup and kind of found some sort of consistency, but it's just minimizing our errors on our end, and a lot of confidence for these girls. We just need to keep working, keep plugging away is what we tell them.
Well, I'm calling this the Battle of the Lake.
Yeah.
And because I came from Florida where it was the Battle of the Beach.
Yeah.
But this is the Battle of the Lake because we have the Lakers here, and you're going to be going over to Osage on Monday. So this is truly like the Battle of the Lake.
Yeah. It's always exciting when we get to go play there. It's right in our backyard, and they've got a pretty good ball club, pretty solid players, and our girls get to play with some of their friends, that they've played club teams growing up with and everything. So it's always neat just to go over there and get to play somebody around here.
All right. What is your progress, in other words, your view of the progress amongst the girls? Do you see some tiredness going on? And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yesterday in practice we had a, short but a really solid practice, and we got a ton of touches, and at the end, they were just gassed, you could tell. So it's always nice when we can get in, kind of do a light, quick practice and get a little bit of a break. But we're preaching to them, working on hydration, nutrition, things like that. Recovery is huge for us, going 3 out of 5. We've had 9 matches 9 sets so far this week, so it's been a long week for us already. just trying to keep our legs fresh and kind of our shoulders, healthy and everything.
How are the coaches doing?
We're tired.
Because we can talk about the players, but
yesterday we were dragging yesterday. Been on the road 2 games this week, late nights, and just kind of the preparation. I'm really lucky. I've got Coach Wyatt, my JV coach, in the gym with me during the day, and so we've kind of been able to tag team it the last 2 years and kind of get some things, hammered out for the upcoming matches and everything. So we're hanging in there.
All right. Well, good luck this weekend and the beginning part of next week, and we're going to catch up with you next week.
Thank you so much.
Well, that wraps it up for this week's edition of Tailgate Game Day. Thank you so much for joining us. Get ready for your favorite games this evening all across the state and even across the country, whether you're listening on the East Coast, West Coast, or right here in the state of Missouri. Once again, smash that subscribe button, and then you can become a part of the channel. And also, make sure that you thumbs up and like the channel. That really helps it out a lot. And then if you hit the bell, you'll be notified of future programs. Join us again next week as we have another edition of Tailgate Game Day.
Three and 1, just trailing them by a little under 4 points. Then Capital City, just a fraction of a point behind Camdenton, and then it goes North Point at 2-2, Washington at 2-2, Battle at 1-3, and Rolla sitting at 0-4 at the bottom of the district standings.
This is, as we said at the top, this is going to set the pathway for Camdenton these next 2 weeks with West Plains and Bolivar. And West Plains and Bolivar, they went at it a few weeks back, ultimately won by Bolivar, since Bolivar's gotten destroyed by Lebanon. The way I look at the conference, Luke, tough at the moment to try and compare anybody to what Lebanon's doing. They're in a class by themselves. Maybe that changes. Camdenton's got a few weeks before, and they're not even thinking about Lebanon right now. They've got one really big game tonight and another one next week. But that's why I'm trying to, let's try to judge the next tier down in the Ozark Conference. In Camdenton, with a win tonight, I think they'd find themselves in that perch.
Yeah, and this team has been a work in progress since the very beginning. New coaches and new positions from your head coach, offense and defensive coordinators. You have a brand new quarterback. You know, 4 key positions in this team are guys in positions they weren't in last year. So it's taken a little time for these things to but I've seen this team take steps forward, and tonight's another opportunity to take another step forward. And it's a great opponent who is not going to let you make mistakes in the West Plains Scissors.
First Bank, State Mortgage, Team Lassen kickoff coming up here as West Plains will get the opening kickoff, moving right to left. Willard DeMott to do the kicking. It's Wilson and Norton back deep to return the opening kick for the Scissors as DeMott puts some air under it, but it's a short kick fielded by Norton at his own 16-yard line. He's lowering his shoulder across the 30-yard line and dropped at about the 34-yard line. That's where West Plains will begin their first drive. Tackle made on special teams there by Brady Mills.
Yeah, good job there just to set them up, pretty decent field position there. I think that's kind of a push special teams play there, but at least you prevent the big play and give a chance to see what they're going to do. And it looks like they're going to come out in a little spread look themselves. Taking signals from the sidelines as well. They broke out of a huddle, but all receivers and the quarterback looking to the sideline, looking for a call to come in, possibly based on how the Lakers lined up defensively.
Talked about Vogler getting some action on the defensive line. Hilton in there right now on that defensive line on 1st and 10. That's going to be a completed pass out across the 40-yard line, lowering his shoulder around the 41 or 42. Remy Wilson, again, this guy is a lightning bolt, smaller kid. Get him out in open space, Luke. He's going to be very dangerous.
Yeah, the Lakers trying to send pressure early there, sending Sam DeMott from his linebacker position on a blitz up the C gap or the B gap there, looking to put some pressure on. West Plains able to pick up that pressure, and when that happens, that means there's a West Plains able to pick up.
Jones, the quarterback. I formation. We'll see a lot of old school I formation with a slot back to the right. That looks like Bob Shore's Camdenton Lakers. Handoff to Wilson. He might have put the ball on the carpet. He did. The ball is loose. Jones gets it back near the original line of scrimmage as the Lakers did a good job to create some chaos in the backfield.
Yeah, and that's what it takes. You know, against a team that wants to try to run the ball, have an I formation, you get back there and just kind of gum up the works by beating your man one-on-one, getting into the backfield. That's how you create chaos, and that's how you disrupt offensive football.
Ball on the 36-yard line. It sets up 3rd and 8 for the Zizzers, operating from the right hash, moving right to left across your radio dial. Great to have you here on Polylift Laker football from the JOD. Feels like a really big game here tonight.
Yeah, they broke out the Purple Haze chant already, boys.
Wilson flanked to the left of Jones. They're going to hand it off on a jet sweep and room to run. But Carson Durnan in the open field with the tackle, bringing down Will Stauffer. Well short of the line to gain, and Camdenton poised to get the ball back.
What a great stop by the junior there. Defensive backs, not necessarily known for tackling, but he gets right up in his face. His hand kind of drifted towards that face mask area. He smartly brought his hand down, brought the tackle down, and he's going to give the chance here for the Laker offense to take over as you got the special teams out there looking to punt the ball away.
Yeah, the quarterback Jones is also the punter for this team. That was an Oak Star bank, play to bank on, by the way, there by Carson Durnan.
And when you have the quarterback as your punter, that always means there's more options for fakes.
2 Lakers back there to return the kick, including Mellencamp, who's going to let it roll. Remy Wilson will down it at the 26-yard line. So after a roll there, we're going to call that a punt of 39 yards. 1st and 10, Camdenton at their own 26. Quiet side, quick shot, change of possession. The market at the 27. Beautiful skies here. Temperatures in the 70s. Comfortable weather. And that game time weather update brought to you by Royal Heating and Air. Cade Durnan.
Saw Tommy Royal in the stands earlier tonight.
Cade will motion forward into the backfield. Fake it to him on 1st down. Will fire. Incomplete, looking for Edson, and threw a little low there for his intended target. We'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, Cade knew where he wanted to go with that ball, and I think Edson had an ability to get open. They just weren't quite on the same page as to where the location of the route was.
Lakers moving left to right. West Plains jumps, and I think that's going to be our first penalty of the night. Our first top deck penalty. That's going to be +5 for Camdenton.
You know, you get an incomplete pass on 1st down, so then all of a sudden you're, kind of behind schedule with 2nd and 10, but you make that up with one play by forcing a mental error on the Zizzer side and makes 2nd and 5 a little bit more attainable than 2nd and 10.
Again, forward motions into the backfield. He gets it this time running left. West Plains does a good job of stringing that play out and not allowing Ford to get to the edge. That'll bring up 2nd down. Might have gotten back, get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, now it'll be 3rd down on that one. But so kind of, now you got to think you got to go to the air. You had a chance there on 2nd down to use that ground game, stay a little bit more balanced. But play action look here.
Fake it to Ford on 3rd down, rolling to his right. Durnan trying to survey the field, and Borbay kind of got in between defenders as Durnan was really going to have to make a perfect throw, couldn't quite execute, and it's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, he saw what he liked there. He had a man open in a little space in the defense, and at this point, Durnan's going to stay out there at quarterback on 4th down. And
be 4th and 6 from the 32. See if they want to try and draw him offside. I think that's the order of business here as Edson will motion into the backfield now to take the snap and punt the football away. Just wanted to double check to see if they wouldn't jump. Low kick there by Edson. It's not going to go as far as the Lakers would have hoped. It's going to be a punt of about 29 yards, and Camdenton does not flip the field.
No, but no return on that. It does get it into West Plains territory here. Kind of just resets the game about the same field position they were to start the game. Both teams kind of getting a chance to feel each other out offensively, kind of see how the other team will defense them here. But let's see what defensive coordinator Walker has to bring to the table right here.
So 2 punts so far. 1st and 10, West Plains at their own 34-yard line. Moving right to left as Jones gets the call from the sideline. Wilson is flanked to his left now. I should say to his right, now to his left. And Wilson's going to get the ball up the middle. He's got room. First down and more. Dragged down from behind by Mellencamp, and not before a 15, maybe 16-yard gain as West Plains has it on the plus side of the field, 1st and 10.
Yeah, so Cedar Wall, Cole Walkerson, Cedar Wall there on a blitz. He gets to the backfield, but kind of overruns the running back, and the kind of the space he vacated on his blitz is kind of where he was able to make some hay there on the ground. So now West Plains in Camdenton territory.
8:39 to go in this first quarter. No score, but West Plains on the move here from the 49. Handed off Norton this time, but he is met at the point of attack. Ball might have come out. It did again. And I think West Plains found their way. The quarterback, Jones, lands on him. Mellencamp was scrumming around there for the football as well. That's going to back West Plains up and put them off schedule. And we get a flag there.
Late flag.
Very late flag at the end. Not sure what that was about. Another top deck penalty. But it looked like they picked the flag up.
Sideline warning.
Pretty fast.
Be a sideline warning against West Plains there. But, yeah, for the second drive in a row, you have a fumble that could be ultimate disaster. But West Plains ends up recovering their own mistake. But with a loss of yardage that sticks them behind the sticks here a little bit here with 2nd and 13. Lakers have an opportunity here to really make a big play and force a big third down here. Keep the ball on West Plains side of the field here.
2nd and 13 from their own 48, operating from the right hash. Norton flanked to the right of Jones. Takes a high snap, stands in the pocket, throws over the middle, incomplete. Few Lakers in there in coverage, including Mellencamp and Bowen. And that'll bring up third down.
Yeah, third and 13 here. Lakers just rushing 4 on that one. They had 3 down linemen, sent 1 linebacker. So it's a 4 on 5 when it comes to the 5 offensive linemen staying in to block. And the Lakers were able to put pressure with 1 less man on that play. If they can continue to do that throughout the game, certainly bodes well for the Purple Haze defense.
3rd and 13 from the 4 high snap. Jones tried to sling it to Norton, overshot him in the flat, incomplete, and it's going to bring up 4th down and another punting opportunity for the Zizzers.
Number 69, Tyler Blakely.
Lakers able to get some pressure again, not sending a ton of dudes with a minimal rush, 4, 3, 5 at the max there. Lakers able to get the pressure we talked about in the pregame inside the football lab.
Lake Ozark Water and Sewer Football Lab. It's a fake, and it's an incomplete pass. As Luke, you didn't mention it more than 5 minutes ago, the quarterback is the punter, and they can't quite convert, and Camdenton's got it on the plus side of the field just like that.
They had a good look at it there, though. Yeah, we were just kind of, that was I got my crystal ball out on that one, but it's pretty common knowledge. When your quarterback is your punter, it gives you a ton of options back there. Because he's theoretically your best thrower, so they try to take advantage of the Lakers on that one. Look at a steal of possession here early in this ballgame. 7 minutes, 29 seconds left. 0-0 in the first quarter.
Ball at the 48-yard line of the Zizzers, operating from the left hash. Now in motion was Ford, empty backfield. As Durnan throws underneath, connects to Edson, turns it upfield. First down and more down the sideline to the 20. Pushed out of bounds near the 15. He brings it inside the Pacific Pools red zone. And a Camdenton Laker butcher shop first down.
Came in tonight with 355 receiving yards on the night, averaging 12.7 per catch with a long of 76. I think that one's going to up his average a little bit.
36 yards on the pass and catch. Durnan to Edson. Inside the Pacific Pools red zone. Hand off to Ford. Running right. He's got a big gainer inside the 10. Brings it down close to the line to gain inside the Pacific Pools red zone.
And the Lakers trying to use some tempo here to really put the pressure on.
Second down. They call it 1st and goal?
Looks like it. Looks like they're going to have 4 chances there from just outside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, they've taken the dial-it-down. So first and goal inside the Pacific Pools red zone from the 6. Sterling rolling to his left, surveying the end zone, throwing incomplete. Some tight coverage there as he tried to thread the needle into his brother Carson. Good coverage, on the play there by Jacob Moore.
Yeah, Carson comes into this game leading all receivers with 5 touchdowns. He doesn't lead in yardage. That's kind of how unique the distribution of the ball has been. Edson and Shepard lead in receptions and yardage. Carson leads in touchdowns.
Second down and goal from the 5. Ford motions into the backfield, fake the jet sweep. Durnan throws into the end zone.